If you've ever struggled with that internal battle between keeping yourself safe and protected and stepping out of your comfort zone and pushing boundaries and making progress towards your true potential, this episode's for you. This is something that I still struggle with on an almost daily basis. And I know that it's very common with a lot of the people that I work with. So today I want to share a little bit about my experience and how this shows up for me. But I also want to share 3 tips that I think can really help put things into perspective and allow us to be able to take regular, consistent action and make progress by stepping out of our comfort zone on a regular basis. I think these tips can really help. If you're finding yourself feeling a little bit stuck and not making the progress that you would like, my 5-minute daily planning continuous improvement checklist may be exactly what you need to get yourself back on track and start making meaningful progress towards everything that's most important to you. It's simple, takes 5 minutes a day, and all you need to do is shoot out to me, let me know, send me a message, and I'll send it straight through. Absolutely no strings attached. Hey there, welcome back to the From Zero to Marketing Hero podcast. My name's Paul Heron. I'm a life coach, entrepreneur. I've been setting up a successful coaching business over the last 5 years, but I'm originally from the corporate world where I specialized in maintaining and developing continuous improvement processes that could be relied on to produce repeatable results. And the one thing that I've become aware of is whether it's my own personal life or my own little small business, this exact same mindset is essential for us to be able to create a little bit of structure and certainty around moving that needle towards what's most important. This podcast is my latest effort at continuing to push myself out of my comfort zone. I recently decided after 5 years of outsourcing my marketing that this is the year I'm going to figure this stuff out. So as part of that journey and to document my progress along the way, I've decided to produce, record, upload a podcast episode every single day for the next 12 months. So without any further ado, let's get into today's episode where I want to share my experience with this conflict between keeping myself safe and comfortable and pushing boundaries and stepping out of the comfort zone, as well as 3 things that I genuinely believe can help us put things into perspective and really start moving that needle forward. So the first thing that I think is really important to be mindful of and to pay attention to is the idea that there are 2 distinct parts of us that are in conflict in many ways. We have our intellectual mind. We have this part of us that dates back to our prehistoric days where it literally was a matter of life or death. And the people who played it safer in the past were probably the people who survived and progressed the gene pool. So it really is baked into us to be constantly on the lookout for danger. And when we sense that danger, to find ways, to think through ways of keeping ourselves safe and protected. And that remains. What we need to be mindful of is that there are very few real, genuine cases of life or death situations that we find ourselves in. If we did find ourselves in those situations, then we need to obviously pay attention to those reactions and responses, and no doubt that would naturally kick in. But very often, the situations where these responses are triggered in us are not life or death situations. Very often it is, I know in my circumstances, it is things like showing up, hitting that record button, going live, testing new ideas out, the fear and worry about what other people are going to think and say. These are real fears in my mind. And there have been times where this fight-flight response has prevented me from taking actions that I know that I need to be taking. So I've got this intellectual side that wants to keep us safe and protected. I think it's more of I like to call it the body. We've got this, whether it's our heart or our body, this is where the vision comes from. This is the part of us that knows that we are made for more, knows that we have the capability to push our boundaries and step out of our comfort zone and experience the discomfort that we might experience along the way. But we know what we're capable of. And it's this balance between the intellect that's trying to keep us safe and protected and the heart or the body that wants us to live to our potential. And I think just knowing and understanding and becoming more aware of this conflict is a huge first step. And that is why I think it's the first thing that we need to pay attention to and start taking notice of. It's not necessarily about changing this stuff. It's just being aware that this is the situation that we find ourselves in. The second thing, and following on from that first point, but the second thing that I think is important for us to acknowledge and to accept and to almost find ways to look forward to is that a little bit of discomfort is a good thing. Keeping ourselves, if we find ourselves safe and protected, and if we find ourselves staying in our comfort zone, there's a safety and a comfort that comes with that. But we know when we put things into perspective, when we know we've got a vision that we want to work towards, whether it's marketing, figuring this stuff out for me this year, whether it's starting your own business, whether it's traveling the world, whatever your goals and vision is, we need to be able to acknowledge that by definition, taking steps into the new, into the unknown, are by definition steps outside of our comfort zone. So almost finding ways to look forward to that feeling of anticipation, butterflies in the stomach, finding out where our tolerance level is for discomfort and pushing boundaries and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and accepting that as part and parcel of this journey, of this process. I think it's a really interesting thing to think through, because again, once we become aware of this, once we become aware that there are the two forces fighting against each other, become aware that for us to live to that true potential requires us to take steps out of that comfort zone. And by definition, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable at times. And accepting this and acknowledging and almost finding ways to look forward to these experiences, I think is huge. And this takes me to the third thing that is such an important factor in tying all this together. And that is that so often the feelings that we want, we want to feel we want to feel, I do, a sense of fulfillment, and we want to feel a sense of satisfaction and that we've actually achieved something. And very often that feeling or the thing that we're wanting is on the other side of taking action that is not comfortable. And I think this is huge. It's what this journey is all about. If we think about what perfect ideal life looks like, for most of us, the first idea might be sitting on a beach drinking cocktails. I know there have been times where I've had that thought, and that would be wonderful to be in that position. But then I think, how long can I stay there for? How long can I stay in that place where I'm not pushing myself and challenging myself? Because ultimately, what I want is to live to my potential. And if I'm not growing, if I'm not challenging myself and pushing myself out of my comfort zone and finding ways to experience those small wins, big wins, I really do think it's this reflective piece when we're able to stand on the other side of achievement and be able to reflect back and go, man, I did that. I came from here and I found a way to figure this stuff out. And I'm now in this place where I've got this new understanding of how this all works. That's what we want. That's all we want. We want to feel like we're on track. We want to feel like we're making progress. And, these three things combined together, or just developing this awareness of these three elements and three things can be huge in just allowing ourselves to do the things that we need to do. Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to. How can we prime ourselves and get ourselves in a position where we're doing the things that we need to be doing on a regular, consistent basis? And, that's what's going to take us to what is truly most important to us. So I might leave it there for today. I hope this has potentially planted a seed and got you thinking about your own experience. I would really encourage you guys to just start having a think about this stuff, having a think about the times where you might be thinking about, that that thinking brain is typically negative. It's wired into us. It's typically finding ways to prevent risky, dangerous action in its mind, and just looking for that conflict, looking for ways that we can decide consciously what that next step out of the comfort zone might look like, and make commitments and just build a habit of being okay with experiencing some of that discomfort, and also being, but trying to become someone that can take a moment to pause and allow yourself to be able to see the progress you've made. Because I think it's in seeing that progress that I know I do as well. I know I do this. It's in seeing that progress that we allow ourselves to have a moment to experience that positive emotion that comes with being grateful and the satisfaction of actually achieving something, which is huge. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Can you relate to this conversation today? Let me know. The best way to reach out is to head over to my website, paulheronlifecoaching.com. There's a few different ways you can reach out there, but yeah, definitely reach out, start a conversation. If you are finding yourself a little bit stuck and unsure, trying to figure out what that next action might look like for you, my 5 minute a day, 4-step daily planning tool may be exactly what you need to get started. Just let me know. It's specifically designed to help you identify what is most important and to get that needle moving each and every day. So reach out, let me know. It's all yours. No strings attached. You don't need to give me your email address or anything. I will just shoot it straight through. Finally, if you're enjoying the show, I would really appreciate if you could take a moment to hit that pause button just for a moment and hit subscribe. It really does go a long way in helping others find the show and to share the show with a wider audience. And I would just be really grateful if you could do that for me. That would be awesome. And until tomorrow, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye for now.